Welcome to Brainish English Stories.
"How did you get up there?" asked a man, looking up at the tree. He put his glass to his eye and stared at the woman sitting on a branch. "I didn't expect to see you here." "I suppose not," said Lady Gwendolen calmly. She was never nervous. "I had a little problem." "Oh. I'm sorry to hear that. But maybe I should help you down first. Unless you like sitting there." "Don't be silly, Colonel Dacre," she laughed. "What would people think if they saw us like this?" "They would find it interesting. Life is boring when everything is the same. People who do things differently should be admired." "It is nice to be different sometimes," said Lady Gwendolen. "But women must be careful. Men like quiet, pretty women." "Who told you that?" asked Colonel Dacre. "No one." "I see it. You often dance with Mrs. O'Hara." "So. Is she clever?" "No." "Is she kind?" "Not really." "Then why do so many people like her?" "I don't know. I knew her husband. But she never talks about him, does she?" "Never." "Then you must like her for herself." "I know why." "Tell me." "She makes people feel good about themselves. She gives them compliments, and they don't even realize it. That's why people like her." "You don't do that, Lady Gwendolen," he said with a small smile. "No. I speak honestly. Lady Tinmouth says I am too direct. But there is one thing I would never do." "What is that?" "I would never ruin a happy home just to feel important." "Who does that?" "Don't you remember Percy Gray? He was happy with his wife until—" "Until what?" "Until Mrs. O'Hara stayed with them. Then Percy started to think his wife was boring. Maybe Mrs. O'Hara didn't mean to cause problems, but in the end, they separated." "That's not fair." "How do you know it was Mrs. O'Hara's fault?" "Lady Maria, Percy's wife, told me." "Maybe she was just jealous." "Maybe. But I would feel the same way. If I had a husband, I wouldn't want him always with a beautiful widow, giving her expensive gifts, especially if he bought them with my money." "Did Lady Maria tell you that too?" "Yes. And she was very sad. She said, Percy and I were so happy before Mrs. O'Hara came. But after she flattered him so much, he didn't care for me anymore." There was silence for a moment. Lady Gwendolen felt a little embarrassed. Maybe she had spoken too strongly. Colonel Dacre was thinking deeply. Then he looked up and asked, "Why are you telling me this, Lady Gwendolen? You are not a mean person, and I know you are not jealous. So I really want to understand. Can't you guess? No. Unless you think I might fall for Mrs. O'Hara and need a warning. I was afraid of that, she admitted, her cheeks turning red. We have been friends for so long. We grew up as neighbors. I can't bear to see you waste your love on someone who doesn't deserve it. If Lady Gwendolen had been standing next to Colonel Dacre, she wouldn't have dared to speak so openly. But sitting in the tree gave her courage. She had wanted to tell him this for weeks, but only today did she find the strength. Colonel Dacre took a long time to reply. Then he said calmly, "Thank you, Lady Gwendolen. But even if I don't agree with you about Mrs. O'Hara, I would rather die than marry her. My friend was a good man, and he kept his secrets well. But there is one reason why I would never love his widow." "What is that?" "I don't want to take another man's place, especially his. So, you see, I am safe. Now, will you let me help you down?" "Wait a moment. I want to ask you something first." "Go ahead," he said, smiling. "I want to know. If Mrs. O'Hara wasn't your friend's widow, would you have liked her?" "Do you mean, would I have fallen in love with her?" asked the colonel. "Yes. I have always wondered." She stopped, suddenly feeling shy. "I'll answer your question when you're back on the ground," he said, trying to see her face through the leaves. "By the way, you never told me, why did you climb up there?" The farmer's bull saw my red cloak and looked at me angrily. I was scared to walk past it. When I was a child, I used to climb this tree with Reggie, so I thought I could do it again. But climbing in this dress is not easy." "I can imagine," he said with a teasing smile. "I wouldn't want to wear clothes that make walking so difficult." "Oh, we don't mind. It's better to suffer than to be out of fashion." "Really?" he said, pretending to feel sorry for her. "Fashion is the most powerful ruler in the world, but thankfully, only women follow it so strictly." "Of course. Men never do silly things for fashion," she said playfully. "I can't argue with a lady sitting in a tree," said Colonel Dacre. Then he added more seriously, "Lady Gwendolen, you should come down. I see the Handley carriage coming. Sir Charles will tease you forever if he finds you like this." "I suppose so. But it's so nice up here. The air is fresh, and the leaves smell wonderful. Maybe I should live in a tree like Robinson Crusoe." "Or maybe," said Colonel Dacre, his voice suddenly serious, "you would just use it to read love letters and count the hearts you have broken." Lady Gwendolen slowly moved along the tree branch. Climbing up had been easy because she was scared, but now, she felt nervous. Her dress made it even harder. If Colonel Dacre wasn't there, she would have lifted her dress and climbed down quickly. But she had to be careful, as a proper lady should. Colonel Dacre, not knowing her struggles, kept urging her. The Hanley carriage was getting closer, and he didn't want Sir Charles to see her in such an odd situation. "You must hurry," he said. "The horses are turning the corner." "But if you leave, maybe they won't notice me," she said. "Impossible. Your red cloak has been visible for a while. Leave it in the tree, and we can hide before they see us again." "That's a good idea, but—" "Do you want me to help?" he asked. "No. I would rather stay here all night," she said firmly. "Why?" "Because I know you are laughing at me. You didn't see the bull's big, scary eyes. If you had given it your cloak, it would have been too busy playing with it, and you could have run away," he said. "I can't afford to lose my clothes like that. I came to Teignmouth to save money because I spent too much last year. My brother had to help me, but now he is married and has to pay his wife's bills. So, I have to be very careful with money." "Ah, yes," sighed Colonel Dacre. "A man must have £10,000 before he can afford a wife, and even then, he might go broke. But, Lady Gwendolen, please be careful. That branch looks weak." "It held me before," she said. "Yes, and that's why it might not hold you again. I can hear it cracking. Please step back," he said in a worried voice. She saw his concern and found it amusing. She wanted to make him suffer a little, so she smiled and placed her foot on the weak branch. He was watching her anxiously, his face full of fear. Then it happened. The branch made a loud cracking sound and broke. Lady Gwendolen fell straight down and landed at Colonel Dacre's feet in a tangled mess of red cloak, black hair, and her summer hat. For a moment, he couldn't see her face. When he did, he was afraid to look too closely. Had she been hurt? Would her beauty, so admired by many, be ruined? A strange thought crossed his mind. If she was no longer beautiful, no one else would want her, and she would belong only to him. He quickly pushed that thought away. He gently brushed her hair aside and looked at her. Her face was pale, but she was still as lovely as ever. She would break many hearts yet, maybe even his. He bent closer, his heart racing. He had loved her for 2 years, though he had never told her. Now, he could have kissed her, and no one would know, as the carriage had passed. But she still wasn't moving. He didn't think she was badly hurt, but she wasn't waking up, and he had no idea what to do. Colonel Dacre almost wished he had called for help when the Hanley carriage passed. But at the same time, he was glad to have Lady Gwendolen all to himself. He didn't know what to do. He had heard that perfume could help someone wake up, but he didn't have any. As he put his hand in his pocket, he found his small silver flask. He remembered that brandy could also help. Quickly, he poured a little onto his handkerchief and gently wiped her forehead and nose. Slowly, her eyes fluttered open, and she gave him a soft, mysterious smile. "Are you feeling better, Lady Gwendolen?" he asked. "Was I sick?" she said weakly. "Oh, no. Just a little fainting." "Nothing serious," he said cheerfully. She looked at him doubtfully. "I think I broke my leg." "Oh, please don't say that. You didn't fall from very high. Do you feel any pain?" She shook her head sadly. "That's the problem. I feel nothing. I can't walk home." "I wouldn't ask you to," he said. "My house is close by. If you don't mind, I can carry you there. My housekeeper, Mrs. Whitaker, will take care of you until the doctor arrives." She hesitated. "But what about Bates Bowl?" "I'm sorry," he said. Then, after thinking for a moment, he added, "This is no time to worry about rules. You need help." She smiled slightly. "I'm afraid I will be too heavy for you." "We'll see," he said, lifting her easily. "Hold on to my shoulder to steady yourself," he told her. She obeyed. As she rested her cheek on his shoulder, Colonel Dacre felt his heart race. He longed to tell her how much he loved her, but he stayed silent.